welcome back to my channel. It is still Friday, November 8th, and I say still because I actually vlogged earlier today, which go back and watch. That was my last vlog that went up. We had ourselves a cozy Friday. It was PJ day. I shared some updates that had happened since my previous vlog, which was Monday of this week. But it is now after school, and I'm vlogging on the same day because I'm ready to make some changes in my classroom. Organization-wise, or rather arrangement-wise. I have been thinking all week about swapping some things in the front of my classroom, and I figured it's Friday afternoon, it's the perfect time to do it. I just feel like every now and then you need a change, and I've been craving change. It reminds me of when I was in elementary school and I used to rearrange my bedroom furniture probably at least once a month, and it drove my parents crazy. Hi, Mom and Dad, I'm sorry, I love you, but apparently that hasn't changed because I've gotten the itch to make some changes. I'm gonna bring you along with me, and hopefully it works out. I don't know, we'll see. All right, we're gonna start with a before shot. I'm gonna show you what that space currently looks like. I'm gonna talk through my plan. I'm hoping it gets executed the way I've been picturing it in my head. It might not work out. This could be a total disaster, but I feel like it could be a good change. I'm optimistic. I've got my positive pants on. They're PJ pants today, because again, it was pajama day, but I feel like it could work. So here is the current pan shot of the front of my room. Honestly, my biggest motivation for wanting to make a change is I want access to that whiteboard. Because I am using so much of this whiteboard for our science word wall, I don't have a lot of space for math, and I would love to dedicate this whole whiteboard to math. But in order to have access to that whiteboard, I need to move my IFP, which is the interactive flat panel. So it's like a big touch screen. It has a built-in computer. It's where I project my slides, and I teach from that for a majority of my lessons. Now, it's a big piece of equipment. I want to move it to this corner. Now, obviously my library is currently in this corner, which means I need to move my library. Now, my library has this bookshelf, which belongs to me. And then I also have more chapter books over on this side. This bookshelf belongs to my school. Also, have I changed out the books on display since the beginning of the year? No, I have not. Judgment-free zone.
I judge you, yeah, as impish.
But I want to keep the bookshelves together. So ideally, I need enough space to have this one, which is 4 feet long. And then I also need to have this bookshelf, but it needs to be displayed in a way that I can access both sides because it is double-sided. Now, this bookshelf on the other side, it's mostly been stuff for me, but I really haven't been utilizing the shelves in the best capacity. So we'll come back to that. Then I've got my kind of standing desk that I use to teach from. So obviously this will need to kind of travel with the IFP because I need it to be next to it since I use it for teaching. I've got the bulletin board, and then this chair gets used by mostly like assistants that are in my room, or my students sometimes sit in it. So my thought is I can kind of keep it by the library area. And then I have this bookshelf, which has mostly math flex activities. That's like kind of our intervention and reteaching time in math. But I also have Chromebook chargers in here, and then some morning activities. So my thought is the library area is going to get moved to over here. So the bookshelf with all the colored bins will go by the window. I'm not gonna be able to fit that with the double-sided bookshelf. Ideally, the double-sided bookshelf would go in that space. But as you can tell, this bookshelf is the same length as the other one, and it's too long. It covers that space. So my thought is kind of where my standing desk is right now will be that double-sided bookshelf. The IFP will go to the library, and then this math bookshelf will go kind of in that middle space, almost where the IFP is right now. But again, as we start moving stuff around, it may not work out so well. Okay, so I think first things first, I need to clear my library area. And that means moving this bookshelf so that I can use a ladder and take down the treatment agreement, because that will be covered once I move the IFP. I'm not sure exactly where I will put that, maybe over there. I don't know, that'll be a problem for another day. But I need to move all of the bookshelves, all the books. I don't think I should do it with the books on it. No, that doesn't sound like a good idea. Okay, so let's just move these to tables. I'm gonna try to keep them together as I move them so that it makes it easier to put back. Okay, so that's my top layer. Let's put layer 2 right here. Maybe if I can fit it all. Ooh, we gotta wipe stuff down while we're at it because it is dusty. No! Okay, well, that landed in the trash can. Love that for me. Okay. Oh boy. Okay, leave that there. Let's put these on the floor, but it needs to be off of the carpet because that's gonna have to get moved. And by carpet, I mean rug. It's technically all carpet. Can I do this one-handed? Should I? No. Am I going to? Yes. Okay, and then these will go over here. All right, let's go ahead and move it and then clean it. Oh, there's a bug. It's dead, but still. Okay, so let's move this bookshelf. Can I just pick it up? My arms are not wide enough to do that efficiently. Okay. All right, that'll work. Let's just clear this off and stack those up. And while we're at it, let's take these as well. The fact that this is the same tissue box that has been on that windowsill since the beginning of the year is impressive because obviously my students don't use those tissues, so it has lasted all year. Okay, now that's just gonna get pivoted, so I don't need to move that. Let's get this out of the way. Okay, so I need to remove this from the wall, which means I need a staple remover and a ladder, because I'm not that tall. And if you are a teacher and you do not have one of these flat staple removers, you need one. All you do is stick the metal piece under the staple, pull it out, and then it will actually hold onto the staple with the plastic piece. And then sometimes they're even like magnetic, so you don't have to worry about the staples falling all over the floor. I will link one for you if you need one. And then these are the things that crack me up. I hardly ever come to my library area and I have a whole shelf free for extra books, but I had some extra shelf holders. I don't know what else to call them. They're the shelf supports, the piece that goes under the shelf. And because I have an extra shelf, these were just kind of sitting here, but apparently at some point, my students decided to go ahead and stick them into the holes, and I had no idea until now. All right, we have our first dilemma. I put the bookshelf where I was initially picturing it, and there is not as much space between that and the end of the whiteboard as I thought that there would be. Even if I move my standing desk to the other side, which I might end up doing, it still is just not enough space. So I think I'm gonna move the double-sided bookshelf to the space between the bulletin board and the window and have my library, instead of being there, I don't have enough space between that and the cubbies. I guess my library will kind of be in this space, and then I'll have the math bins. I don't know. I'm gonna move it around, try it out, and we'll see. I don't know if I can call this the after, but I can at least call it the in progress. I feel like I need to just get my students in here and kind of test things out before I commit to anything. I think I like it, but it's gonna take getting used to. So starting over here on the left, my science word wall has stayed where it is, but I now have more space. I moved the CER, or claim evidence reasoning, over, and I think when I build it out for the next unit, I'm gonna scooch the whole thing to the right some. That way I have more space to the left for my calendar and schedule and things like that. Now these are just extra desks that I have out so that I can use them whenever I need to, whether it's for a science investigation, or sometimes students will sit there to like charge their Chromebooks because there is a plug underneath. To the right, I have my bookshelf with math flex activities. Now, most likely, I will also end up putting 3 more of these bins on top, but I need to do some reorganizing. For now, I have a bin of dice, math games. This is Shut the Box, which my students absolutely love. I ended up getting another box of it. It's coming over the weekend, so that will get added to that bin. I need to make a label. This one says flashcards, but I think I'm gonna rename it Math Facts. I have playing cards and then 24 cards, which I have personally ordered 1 set, but I wanna get some more sets because I love playing 24 with my students. None of my students seem to know what the game is, so I'm gonna have to teach them once it comes. But eventually I would love to be able to get more sets. They're just kind of pricey, so either it's gonna be a little at a time type of thing, or I'm gonna have to try to get some donations. I have just a trash can to the right. I obviously moved the treatment agreement, and then I have my IFP in the corner, which I do think I really like. To the right of that, I have my standing desk, and I kind of pivoted it so that it's diagonal. This board is gonna be dedicated to math. So I have the section for hanging anchor charts, but I also have plenty of space to be able to write on the board. Then I have my library section, so I put the rug right here. I've got all of the books organized, as well as the chapter books. And then I put the morning activities on the bottom shelf, and then I have my cushions. Over to the right, this is also kind of a work in progress, but I have my teacher toolbox, and then I have candy bins. I have nurse passes and a little bit more space there. I renamed these bins before. I had them as my mailbox, and then while you were out, which is like absent work, but I was not using them, like ever. Partially because they were kind of tucked behind my IFP, but also I just don't really need a mailbox. If my students ever bring anything to me, I just have them put it on my back table. And then same thing for absent work. I just kind of hold on to it, plus a lot of it is digital. So instead, I renamed these extra math copies and extra science copies. And then down at the bottom, I have Chromebook chargers. For now, I have just put the chair in the corner. It may not stay there. And then obviously I have the window space. So I think I like it, but again, it's gonna take getting used to. And I'm also gonna have to try it out with my students because I'm sure I will probably find some problems with it as I go. Now, what I conveniently did not show you is the hot mess that is my back table. And it's already 6:15. I was not planning on staying this late, so I need to hurry up and get it at least cleaned up enough that I'll be able to come in and teach on Monday, because I cannot leave that like that. I'm not that type of person. I need things orderly. So I'm gonna end this vlog here. It will be continued next week. I'll be sure to show you some more progress because I'm also moving a couple of things around on like my back counter and the area behind my small group table. So stay tuned. We'll get more of a after shot when it comes together a little bit more than it has right now. But if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss any future videos, because I promise it will look better the next time. As always, thank you for watching. I love you so much. Don't forget to put your positive pants on, and I will catch you in the next one.